Hello, I'm Andrew Gentile,
And I'm Ariana.
and you're listening to Behind the Flicks. This show is all about me sharing as many facts as I know about filmmaking and directors, and behind the scenes info about movies and whatnot to Ariana. And you'll join us for the ride. Today, Ariana and I are joined by two special guests, two outstanding filmmakers. One, Garrett McDade,
How's it going?
and one, Max Hurley.
Hi. I'm a little offended you introduced Garrett before me, but that's all right. My pride isn't completely shattered, but
Well, I
great to
deserve
be
it,
here.
so.
Well, it's open for interpretation.
Don't believe in the whole best for last concept, Max?
I don't actually, as a matter of fact, but maybe I'll start looking into it.
And well, actually, I would say that I kind of put you forward because Max, this film we're covering today is one of your favorites. I'm gonna have you talk about why that's the case.
Okay.
But first, Ariana, can we have a review of this episode's film?
I was actually gonna ask if anyone would take the reins on the review for this episode because honestly, even after watching it, I don't know if it was because it was subtitled or if it was just an older film, but I had a real difficult time following the story up until like the very end. So does anybody else want to kind of like give us a nutshell idea of what was going on in this film?
Well, Max,
So
this is
I
your
don't
favorite
get
movie.
okay.
the wrong
think.
info.
I'm sorry, Andrew.
Help.
You put those words. I don't remember saying that.
Yes, you did. You said it's one of your favorite visually looking movies.
Yes, visually looking films, but
Yes.
favorite films.
You said one of your favorite films. You said that's what you told me privately.
Well, that was completely off the record, Andrew. I can't believe you're divulging this information, but I guess I'll forgive you.
Oh man.
Yeah, I can try to take. I'm going to be honest, So I let me just tell you my brief history with this film. I think, Andrew, I told you that when you were writing an essay about me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Sorry, let me pause you right there. So, for those of you who don't know, meaning anybody other than Max and I,
The only two.
in my film school, we were told to write an essay on a cinematographer, and I said, "Oh, I know a cinematographer who I can interview, Max Hurley." So I wrote an essay about him. So anyway, continue, Max.
So when I told you that, it had probably been like maybe 7 years since I had seen The Conformist. And so I had these images of it in my head, and they're very beautiful images. And much of that beauty, I saw when I watched it again for the second time. But it definitely, I think, left me with a different impression. And so I mean, I can sort of lead the discussion on this, but I'm really, I don't know how much I'm going to be able to contribute in terms of the whole story. In terms of the visuals, I can be like, yeah, it's beautiful. So maybe Garrett, I'm sure you probably
We all know
I'm sure
Garrett
you probably
can
have a
pick
lot
up the
to say about
reins.
this film. And so if you wanted to lead it, or just even start things off, that'd be great.
Just a little
Yeah.
review. Tell us what you thought.
I'm sorry.
It might have been the subtitles or something. But, I didn't
Am
really
I
catch.
the only one?
I did. We have some Deanza students here. We watched a lot of old classic movies in those classes, and
Very true.
I would say this is, sometimes at Deanza I would maybe go out and get a sandwich in the cafeteria in the middle of the movie, or I just straight up fall asleep. Yeah, it's a very comfortable theater over there. I think I would probably fall asleep within the first 20 minutes of watching this one.
Oh no.
Yeah. I
That's a wow.
as much as I'd like to conform with the consensus of these
God,
guys,
give
this
me
is
a
not my
break.
favorite movie. In fact, it is one of my least enjoyable watching experiences I've had. nothing to the great filmmakers of Italy, but I'm just surprised that that they could make a movie just so unappealing to the audiences in 2022. And
Oh, dude, yeah, that's true.
so do you want me to give a review or like a synopsis?
Well, Ariana had one job. So I guess it's up to Ariana, I guess.
Yeah, give us a little synopsis, like what it's about in a nutshell.
Okay. I think I've already forgotten some of the names.
Oh, jeez.
But the main character, he's an agent for the Italian government. He's sort of a secret agent, a spy, and a man of espionage, if you will. He gets put on a job, basically, where he has to assassinate a professor who lives in Paris. He's sort of a French dissident of the fascist regimes of the times.
You're getting it right. You're getting it right.
And so he finds that he kind of likes the company of this professor and his wife, and he just can't find the courage to assassinate. This is probably a spoiler, actually. That's pretty late into the movie.
Oh yeah,
but
spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I'm pretty sure our whole podcast is a spoiler for the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, that's basically what happens. The subtitles were kind of, yeah. Max, do you want to finish?
Yeah,
I'll give a little synopsis.
Well, you already gave an extremely incredible synopsis, I must say. You covered.
No, he did really well.
He did a great job. So there's nothing much to say. I guess. Are we just going to talk about like our opinions, or do you want me to talk more about like
go
a
ahead.
synopsis?
Whole thing,
okay.
Both.
Oh, whole thing, both. Okay. I think despite what you said, Garrett, like you could. Like, I'm sure you appreciated some of the cinematography, right? Like,
oh yes, it was nice to look at.
It was nice to look at, yeah. But to truly imbibe, if you will, it's a lot to take in, and I think you have to, like, you kind of have to know a little bit about the time and the place, essentially, and what's going on, and all the political factors, in 1930s Italy and France, just Europe. And so if you're not like super in tune with that, it can be, I think, really kind of difficult to fully grasp what's going on. So, but I don't know. I did think the characters were compelling. Kind of. I don't know. One thing that stood out to me was just how horny this movie was. Like,
oh man,
a very horny film, and oftentimes inappropriately so. Like it's a
lot of sauce in the spaghetti.
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Too much sauce in the spaghetti.
And this might be a little random, but I need confirmation from you guys that watched the movie. More towards the beginning, when they get rid of the drug dealer that's like hooking up with the mom, and he gets in the back seat, is he like reaching in his pants for the moment that he's back there? Because you see him open the door, and all you see is like his hand and like gray something like this, but he's only back there for like 2 seconds, and I was like, is that really happening?
Yeah, I didn't catch
sense
that. Yeah, but it would. Yeah,
I didn't catch that either. I got rewatch it now.
You know that next time you watch it, it's such a thriller. You gotta let me know, because I was really shocked. That was when I realized how. I mean, it was a little sensual right in the beginning when he was partnering up with his lady, but I don't know. I'm like, maybe they're just really in love and they're showcasing that. And then that happened. I go, oh no,
yeah.
What am I in for?
I don't know. It's very promiscuous, and it really does cover some like pretty heavy topics, and like one scene that kind of stood out to me and not in a great way was when essentially his wife Julia was like telling him about like the first time she had sex, and it was her uncle basically raped her essentially, and that's like he took his that as a cue to like make a move or whatever, and it was just, and then of course the music is swelling too and the lighting is beautiful, and it's like this is horrific. I'm sorry. It's I don't want to. It's I don't know, Andrew. I want to hear what you have to say, Andrew. To be honest.
Let's go. Yeah,
Oh no.
it's Andrew's time.
Okay, well, first of all, I have a confession to make, which is, so I'm currently not at a place like physically where I can like watch movies on like a big screen. So I had to watch this movie on my laptop. So I confess to the movie gods that I did not have a big screen or like surround sound for this or what have you.
All right, but honestly, Andrew, what'd you think?
I would give it a B plus.
Oh,
I'd give this movie a B plus. I thought it was very beautiful. I thought it was very innovative for its time. I did not morally approve of that the scene where the the story of the uncle
Right.
raping the Julia. But I thought for the time that the dealing with abuse in that way of like, gee, it really leaves long-lasting effects on people and it's really psychologically scarring. I thought that was kind of brave for the time. And so I think it needed to be given at least credit for that, if not everything.
Yeah, I guess my potential thing with that is that I think the scene kind of presents it in a very kind of dramatic and almost
I wasn't talking about
positive
that. I wasn't talking about that scene.
Oh, which scene were you talking about?
That scene I don't agree with.
Okay.
The scene I was talking about was when like the Conformist, the titular character as a child, as a child, and he's like abducted by like the chauffeur. I thought that was brave to like bring and to like
put that on film.
To put that on film and like deal with it in a frank way and say, hey, this is bad,
Right.
But then again, it has a total double standard, so I can see that too. I totally understand. Oh my gosh.
I didn't realize the double standard until just now.
Yeah.
I mean, I did like, as a, person, in the future in terms of when this film was made, can kind of appreciate the learning experience for me of like how normal it was for the 30s for a woman to be approached by her 60-year-old lawyer uncle and say, he insisted, so how could I say no?
Yeah.
And to have that difference, just be aware of how far we've come is nice.
The way I took that scene was like he had also had a traumatic experience with sort of sexual abuse in his childhood, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I guess we're really bonding now over this of these traumatic experiences."
I mean, it came out in a period when they were trying to push when the sexual revolution was happening in the 60s, and so all this was new ground.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Outside of the sexual references.
Outside of that, it's a beautiful looking movie.
It's gorgeous.
But no, I Max, I genuinely thought you said that this is like an inspiration for your cinematography, at least.
Yes, I did say that. Yes.
Okay. Maybe that's why I meant.
Yeah, it's definitely not one of my more favorite films. I mean, I do appreciate, I think, the message overall that it's trying to. It's not pro-fascist, It's very much an anti-fascist film in a way, and so I respect it.
Antifa.
For sure, and that Antifa. I can't believe it. Biden's America, but it's.
By the way, for the audio listeners, they're being sarcastic.
No, I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, I did like it overall. I mean, if I had to give it a grade, I'd probably give it maybe like a B minus, because I mean, I do think the visuals are just really very strong, and sort of like you were saying, Andrew, it does feel like it's like pretty kind of there are a lot of aspects of it that feel kind of contemporary, and especially in terms of the cinematography. And so I do kind of respect it from that technical level. It's a gorgeous film. So, but I can see how it would be hard. The story can be a little. Sometimes it's not terribly compelling. So you really do have to kind of be into what's going on to fully enjoy it. So,
Yeah. What was your favorite part of the story, Max?
my favorite part of the story. Wow. Well, it's just the story. So nuanced. It is very nuanced. I don't know. I do kind of like the idea of showing this character who just desperately wants to conform to the society in which he lives. But, unfortunately, in his eyes, in order to do that, he'd have to commit this sort of atrocity. And in the end, he can't do it, which is good. But I don't know. He's just. And this character, I don't know. I think this character is really interesting, although to be honest, I don't really understand him a lot of the time. It's really interesting. So in terms of the story, I don't know. I liked it all, every 100, no, that's not true, but I don't know.
Was he
Andrew,
trying to conform the whole time? Yeah, he was like seeking some like sense of like the image of normalcy, but in the beginning he kind of sets up his sort of views on conforming, where he says like where he brings up that line about Hitler, where it's like, oh, there's this dude at the bar and he was getting all this attention, like he was really wacky and zany, and like that was Hitler. And I the way I processed that was like, in that time, Hitler would sort of be uh, looked upon positively in that sort of fascist group. He was talking to his buddy, who worked for the, in the same agency. So I don't know. Andrew, you go ahead. Sorry.
No. This is fantastic. This is great stuff. Keep going.
No,
that was it.
No.
Arianna,
it.
You got to jump in here.
Reflection on the film. I just, oh man, I just felt like there was so many different stories going on, and I had a hard time following why he fit into all of them. Like the whole story with the prostitute that maybe was this like woman's sister or something.
Oh yeah, that was.
Why does he know the wife? Maybe I missed that like chunk of information. Because they obviously know each other, because the second they're in the same room together, they talk very frankly and instantly start kissing. So it didn't think that was just like a seduction thing. So I'm wondering where the heck that came from. And then his whole relationship with the professor was like, it's like they obviously had a bond beforehand. And so for the government to ask him to kill him was probably some form of like, hey, prove to us you're with us. And he just kind of goes along with it for so long, even though like by the time he starts getting like paired up with the other agent that is obviously very pro-fascist and watching him, that's when he really starts to fall apart. Like he's kind of pretending to be normal to his society so he doesn't have to leave home or something the whole time. But I had a hard time following, like, why are we telling this guy's story? Is it the idea that you can be a part of the country and not be totally supportive, but still be acting supportive? Why is he such a womanizer? Is it,
Well, is it? I was probably that one is probably like his want, like he wants to try and overcompensate for his past, sort of past, and so I think that's it. That explains it. But honestly, yeah, like I pretty much agree with everything you said. It's it can be a lot sometimes.
Cinematography, though, it was really pretty. My favorite cinematography scene was probably his reconnection with the professor in his study.
Yeah.
When he closes the blinds.
It's gorgeous.
And then when they reopen him, the way his shadow fades out was like really, really.
I mean, it
cool.
fits perfectly in with what they're talking about and everything. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, despite like how convoluted the story kind of felt a lot of the time, the way the cinematography was set up and even the script at times, like it helped tell the story without telling the story. which was nice.
Well put. Well put.
So what grade would you give it, Ariana?
Like a C. No plus or minus, just
Wow.
Okay.
Is that the lowest grade for you on all of these movies? I forget. Or is there another one?
I think Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs you gave a C plus.
Oh, okay, so see, that's
Whoa.
better. So that means this is the
Damn,
lowest.
the worst. This is a very controversial episode. My God.
Yeah. Bertolucci is rolling in his grave. Garrett, what grade would you give it?
I'd give it a B minus for I'll be minusing this movie from my memory. Thank you.
Incredible.
Yeah.
He'll be here all week.
Yeah, probably like I'd probably give it like D maybe. Honestly, I mean at this point in time, like I just have honestly I'm even tired right now. It just after watching it, you know, sort of it's putting me to sleep. After this podcast, I will take a 12-hour nap to recover from that movie. It's not even a lie. Yeah. Yeah, but the cinematography was great, though. I will say that. Lots of wide shots.
Yeah.
There were very few shots that were, sort of static. Usually be like circling around a character, and it didn't feel like motivated. The characters blocking didn't feel motivated by the camera. It more felt like the camera was being motivated by the blocking, and so that's always a good sign. I liked how the director would always sort of play with lights. There are always light shining through like either like repeating patterns like pillars and windows and stuff.
Yeah.
Sometimes it wouldn't really make sense why the light would be like dancing a lot.
Oh yeah, exactly. Where the light in the window so it's just like moving like this.
Yeah, like what?
Like why the fuck is it doing that?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, the freaking gaffer went wild on this one.
They did. Yeah, they really went out.
Yeah.
Good for them.
A gaffer, for those of you who are not in the film industry, Google it.
Nice.
Adam.
I'll give it a cinematography an A, directing like a B plus, writing and overall score like a C.
Yeah.
Max, did you already say what grade you were going to give it?
I did. Yeah, I
B
gave it like a B minus. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta give this film a B plus for me.
No, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, I did enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was. The editing was fantastic. I thought. I was like confused at first, and I was also like hooked by the cinematography. So I was like, okay, I'm in. So I think that's a sign of a pretty good film.
Yeah.
I guess I liked it the most out of everybody.
Yeah.
Here,
It's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. That's
No.
fine.
But this was all inspired by one Max Hurley. Okay, should we get to the
I'm
facts?
sorry.
Yes, I'm so ready for some facts. I need some facts on this.
Love to hear some facts.
In his late 20s, filmmaker Bernardo Bertolucci, who had at that point co-written Sergio Leone's Once Upon a Time in the West and directed a few films of his own, decided to adapt an Italian novel by Alberto Moravia to the big screen. Bertolucci would go on to say that, before his adaptation, films were influenced directly from life. Meanwhile, his film was a cross between life and cinema. That adaptation was 1970's The Conformist.
Ooh.
Bertolucci was told the story of The Conformist by a woman he was living with. He was so taken with the story, he was told that he pitched his adaptation to a studio executive without having read the novel beforehand. So that's just called diving right in,
Yeah.
That's confidence right there. It took Bertolucci 1 month to adapt Moravia's novel into a script, which was then approved by the Italian branch of Paramount Pictures.
Wow. And to adapt a novel in a month and have it be like approved.
Wow, so he never read the novel before actually directing it.
He did after he pitched it.
After he pitched it.
Yeah.
Damn, that must have been awkward. He probably opened the book for the first time and it's like, oh, my uncle touched me this way, and he's like flipping through the pages, like, fuck, this is a huge mistake. This is a huge. I'm gonna have to direct this now.
Massive
Everybody's gonna
mistake.
see it.
People in 2022 are not gonna like this.
This is not a
My
woke
God.
film. This is
That's
not
exactly-
a woke film at all.
No.
It's not woke.
But I mean, it's a historically important film. So
Yeah.
that's
No,
why
yeah,
we're covering
it's very well made. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's great.
The conformist cinematographer was Vittorio Storaro. When Storaro and Bertolucci discussed what the conformist should look like, Storaro told his director that they should use light and shadow to create, quote, a cage, unquote, around the titular character, meaning the sharp contrast between light and shadow would, in effect, not allow for any nuance in the images on screen. Then as the film follows the main character's internal change, the shadow and light begin to merge. So it kind of like shows how like lighting and cinematography can like create a subliminal message.
Wow.
Max,
Yeah.
what do you thoughts on that?
I had all of that in my head. I was totally thinking that, while I was watching it. So, I'm really glad that you said it, because that I couldn't put into better words myself.
Gary, you're quite the cinematographer too. What do you think about the cinematography of the film?
Yeah,
If you can go in a
man,
little more.
I just, something about the subtitles, man. It's just like really heavy. What's funny actually?
It's a
This
good
is a little
one.
off. This is what we're talking about. But the freaking not the subtitles. It's funny that you mentioned this is directed by Sergio Leone.
No, it's
because-
not. It's not. But Bernardo Bertolucci.
Oh, whoops. Okay.
Garrett, did you seriously think this film was directed by Sergio Leone?
Actually, when he said that, I was very disappointed. At least when I heard that. But it's funny that everything was like overdubbed because that's exactly what they do in like a Western or something. Yeah, it was kind of funny watching that. Like, were there like other language speaking people on set?
It
or
wasn't
something?
the lead character. He's French, and I thought I read somewhere, Andrew. I don't know if this will spoil one of your facts. I hope not. But didn't he not speak Italian? And did they have to? I think because his lines are dubbed for sure.
I actually didn't know this.
Me neither.
No, what is this?
This might be hearsay. I'm not. Don't this could be wrong. But so the lead actor, he's French, and I thought I remember reading I think some IMDb trivia like when I first watched the movie like 8 years ago, and I'm like fairly certain it said that the actor is French, and so he couldn't speak Italian, but for whatever reason, Bernardo Bertolucci was like, "This is my guy," and he dubbed all his lines essentially.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, this could be complete bullshit. I don't know. I just thought I remember reading that somewhere. So.
Well, it's
Makes
going
sense.
into the podcast.
Oh, Jesus.
Either way.
I'm sorry for completely changing the topic, by the way.
No, you're fine.
I don't forgive you.
Storaro took inspiration from the classical paintings of Caravaggio, particularly the painter's use of light and darkness in his images, to create a metaphor for the main character of the film. To Storaro, the light represented what the conformist wants to show on his conscious side, while the darkness represented the unconscious side of the character. Bernardo worked with Franco Arcali on the editing of the film. During production, Bertolucci set up long takes, a long take being a single shot that plays for an extended period of time. Then in the editing room, Arcali cut into those long takes and integrated snippets of other scenes into that shot. Bertolucci credits Arcali with showing him that the editing process is, quote, extraordinary, unquote, and with helping to create the flashback structure of the film. So, working
I
with
do
an
admit the
editor can-
flashbacks are very smooth.
Yeah.
The way that they edited it was very, very good. It was almost like, is this a flashback? And then the second it clips back, it clicks in like what you were watching. So I thought that was a nice touch as well.
When the film was finished, Bertolucci was able to get not only The Conformist into the New York Film Festival, but another film he made that same year called The Spider Stratagem. So he had two films in the same festival.
Really?
In the New York Film Festival.
The Spider Stratagem?
You got it.
Do you know what that one's about?
Oh, I haven't.
Sounds
seen
way
it.
cooler.
It does sound. That sounds pretty intense, honestly. Damn.
Alrighty. Although The Conformist was a rousing success at the festival, and the film's distributor acknowledged that success, they still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused to run the film in America. They still refused Then,
That makes sense.
then, after a number of directors, Sidney Lumet and Francis Ford Coppola among them, signed a letter asking for the release of the film in America, it was granted a small theatrical run. However, the distributor asked Bertolucci to cut 5 minutes from The Conformist so that the film would run exactly 2 hours. The scene that Bertolucci cut was the one in which the main character visits his blind friends, the one at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah. That scene was put back in for home video releases.
Thank goodness. That's a pretty good scene right there.
I mean, it's a
We
metaphor.
didn't have that.
Was
Wow.
your guys' versions an hour and 52 minutes?
Yeah.
Mine was 2 hours and 5 minutes.
What?
What?
Oh my God.
Uncut?
What?
Maybe Andrew, if we saw your cut, we would give higher, scores and grades.
True.
I think.
I thought it was. I mean, the one on Canopy, right?
I actually went to YouTube and just.
I went to
Me
YouTube.
too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
you did?
Yeah, it was 99
It's
cents.
It's
You know,
available
a
for free
bargain.
on Canopy if you have a library card.
I don't
Get
have a
us.
library card.
You don't have a library card?
reads.
You guys, libraries are the bomb.
They're the bomb.
Yo.
Oh, yeah. Mm,
Alrighty.
I like it.
That was cringe. Is that what you're saying? That was cringe a little bit?
Everybody's cringing right now.
That's
Alrighty.
true.
Vittorio Storaro will go on to photograph such films as Francis Ford Coppola's Apocalypse Now and Warren Beatty's
What?
Reds before
Mhm.
reteaming with Bertolucci for The Last Emperor.
And he also, yeah. My God, he's done just a ton of stuff. Honestly, he's just,
Yeah.
he's incredible. He's really been around the block,
Storaro, you mean.
Yeah, Storaro.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. I mean, Andrew, let me ask you this: do you have like a favorite film of his that he shot?
Storaro?
Yeah.
Well, I don't have all his films memorized, the cinematographers.
So like, all right, let me,
I might have
like
to choose,
Apocalypse Now.
I might have to choose Reds.
Reds. Okay.
That's a fantastic film right there. Yeah. It's big, which I love. So
Big. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite film that he's photographed?
I probably would honestly maybe say The Last Emperor. I do think it's a very gorgeous film, although
Okay.
it kind of
Okay,
has
so
some things that I don't like about it.
if we review that film, I can actually say it's one of your favorite films. Is that what
No,
you're
you can't say it's one of my favorite.
saying? Oh,
okay.
come on now. You just said that.
I said in terms of like in visuals, yeah, but it's a Bertolucci film, so it's just inherent. Like Andrew, have you seen the 1900 or Novecento from Bertolucci at all?
I this is the first Bertolucci film I've seen.
That you guys, we're all complaining about The Conformist, but that one is literally like it's The Conformist, but like 4 hours long, and it's just oh my God, it's so much to take in. I don't know. That one would be fun to kind of just to do an episode on, because that one's really weird and horny as well, but it's kind of a nightmare. It's you guys would like give that an F, I think. maybe deservedly so. I don't know. Sorry, that's a tangent. Forgive me.
No. This is all going in. This is great. All right, guys. Closing thoughts. That's a deep space silence right there. That is just a dead silence right there.
I was waiting for other people to talk. Yeah, Garrett.
Only recommend the watch if you are intrigued by cinematography, or just looking to watch Bertolucci's what's the word I'm looking for?
Body of
all
work?
of the films he's ever made.
Filmography.
Yeah, unless you're looking to cover the filmography of some famous wonderful filmmakers.
Well,
And I would
he
recommend
wasn't
it.
the best guy in real life. Yeah.
Does not surprise me.
Yeah.
Really
red
doesn't
Wonderful
surprise
as
me.
applied to the word film, not maker.
Yeah.
There you go.
That's all I got. That's my
Okay.
closing
Yeah.
thoughts.
Gotcha.
Andrew, or no, Garrett. Yeah, Garrett, give us your closing thoughts, please.
My closing thoughts are I I still need to look up the definition for the word fascist because I'm not completely sure what that means. But after the movie, I think it gave me a little clearer idea. Those are my closing thoughts.
That's pretty profound. Thank you for sharing.
You must
Thanks,
be
man.
tired because I think this is the least you've talked on our
Yeah.
podcast yet.
I am pretty
Did you
tired
work
right
today?
now. No, that movie just knocked everything out of me. Really.
No.
I get it. Yeah, that's how it is.
Let's watch Transformers next time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's quality cinema right there. That's quality cinema.
Probably a lot of fun facts in those.
Oh,
So,
really?
Probably, man. Michael Bay is
That's right.
an interesting guy.
Yeah, one of the Transformers had like testicles, like that's it's incredible.
I believe that was Transformers
Fantastic.
2.
Right. Yeah, it's over the pyramid or something.
Yeah.
Wasn't that? Yeah.
This is our least mature episode.
Yeah, I think so.
Good Lord. All right.
Wow.
All right. Anybody else with closing thoughts, or should we wrap it up?
I'm closing my thoughts.
Okay.
Thoughts are closed.
Max,
What
what do you have to promote?
do I have to promote? If you want to watch some of my cinematography and judge it, because it's probably not as good as Vittorio Storaro's. You can watch some of my projects on YouTube. The channel is called Paper Lantern. Sorry, it's not Paper. It's called McDodgerson. That's where I post my work, all of my own intellectual property on that YouTube channel. So go check it out.
What is
Yeah.
it, Dodgerson?
He's joking. Well,
okay.
the thing is that that's Garrett's channel. It's Mick Dodgerson.
Oh.
So they're just
It's a good, yeah.
I don't know, Max
everybody's
could be
gonna understand
lying.
it, yeah.
He's done a lot of lying this episode.
That's actually kind of true.
No, it's not true.
All right.
Fake news.
Garrett, what do you have to promote?
I have no things to promote.
Oh wow.
Maybe the Transformers trilogy, or is it 4 movies? Did he get to 4?
I think you had like 5.
5?
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, they make a ton of money in China. I guess that makes sense. You make like as much money as possible out of those movies.
Well,
Yeah. For everything else.
Okay.
It's
Thanks for
true.
promoting that. Yeah, for sure.
well.
Watch Transformers.
All right, so essentially, what you guys are saying is we can't watch movies with subtitles. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's
no,
not
no.
true.
That's
not
okay,
true.
Garrett, was that what you're saying?
That's what Garrett was
No.
saying.
I
No?
made that joke like too many times this episode, and I think that's how that stuck. But
Yeah.
subtitles are fine.
Okay, good. You see, with this episode, I was trying to expand our repertoire of
Yeah.
movies.
That's good.
Because mainly we were covering Hollywood movies, and in our previous episodes, and so I just wanted to kind of branch out into foreign cinema.
Right.
And this
I
this
am-
is considered a very important film in foreign
Yeah.
cinema. So.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay.
That's true.
Listeners, if you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future episodes, feel free to shoot us an email at independentcareerstudios@gmail.com. If you like this episode, please write a review and subscribe to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, or YouTube. We'd love to hear your feedback. Behind the Flicks was created by myself and Arianna. I researched, wrote, and edited this episode. My name is Aaron Gentile. This has been an Independent Career Studios production.